So, but it says library tools in your Canvas course. It's at the bottom of the menu. And when you click on that, it will allow you to get straight to the research guide. Okay, so the research guide, otherwise you can click on it here from research guides, and then you'd scroll down to healthcare administration. But there is a shortcut to this page from the Canvas course. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and select healthcare administration, and I'm going to click on it right here, and it's going to go to the healthcare administration guide. But when you go, and I can show this a little bit later again when I have it open again, but when you go into the Canvas course for this class, for Linda's class, and you'll see a library tools button, when you click on that, there'll be a link that says healthcare administration, and it will take you directly to this page within Canvas. You never have to leave Canvas in order to get to this page, which is quite handy. It's very direct. It's a wonderful shortcut. I can't tell you how amazing it is. The mapping is amazing. But anyway, I will continue. Okay, so here we are at the Healthcare Administration Research Guide, and there are a lot of options here for you. Okay, we have how to find articles in databases. We have finding books. We just talked about that. We have health statistics. Should you need any demographic information, any data for anything that you're doing, this is a great place to go because this is all going to be health data. It's all health statistics. So if you need anything like that, you know, we've got the health statistics by the National Institute of Health. We have, you know, fast stats from the Center of Disease Control, different things like that. I tried to list them all here so that you wouldn't have to be clicking around to a bunch of different places in order to gather the statistics or the data that you need. Okay. We, of course, then below that have searching tips. We have Googling for healthcare administration, and then, of course, APA citing and writing, which we will talk a little bit more about later. Okay, but getting started, I'd really like to focus on finding articles in databases. So I'll go ahead and click on that second square on the menu, and that brings us to a bunch of databases. Now, earlier, I'm going to go ahead and go back there. We were at the library's homepage. You'll also notice another list there that says databases. Okay, the difference here is that when you click on databases from the home screen, it is going to take you to an alphabetical list of our databases in which there are 335 of them. Now, these are going to cover all kinds of disciplines, not just health and business. These are going to cover everything from history to philosophy to foreign languages. We will have all kinds of information within all of these databases. So the benefit of going from the research guide is that these are now limited to only being databases that refer to business and health, right? I have collected a list of things that are all about healthcare administration, okay? So let's go ahead and look at a couple of those. For example, let's go ahead and look at Academic Search Complete. It is a really popular one because it's multidisciplinary. So I'll go ahead and click on that. Go ahead and do the multiple 100 times sign in. It's thinking and it's letting me in. Hooray. Okay, so for Academic Search Complete, it is an EBSCO database, and EBSCO makes about 35 of our databases. So by showing you this one, I'm actually showing you how to use 35 of our databases. Okay, so if we wanted to go ahead and do a search, let's just say I wanted to do social media and hospitals, or maybe singular hospital. Okay, now I'll go ahead and do my search. And, you know, just a couple of articles, 6,546, no big deal. No big deal, just, you know, just a couple. So here's the deal. We want to make sure that we're only getting articles that are pertinent to our assignment. So a way for me to limit the number of articles I pull back would be to add another term. Anytime you add any term, you're going to limit the number of articles that are available to you because you're requiring there to be more details in it, right? So I could add 10 different boxes if I wanted to. But for today, I think I'm just going to add a location. So I'm just going to say that we want it to be in the United States. So I'll hit search again. And now that limited quite a few. Now I'm at 1,810. Okay, but let's just say I want to make sure that I'm not limiting myself too much. And we're in the position now where I want to make sure I can expand my search a little bit. Okay, so we've narrowed it down by adding additional boxes, different topics. Okay. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use flexible vocabulary to make sure that I'm not missing any of these items. So can anybody tell me, I'm going to pause here for a second. Can anybody tell me in the chat a different way that you could refer to, say, social media or a type of social media? Can anybody put that in the chat for me? So what is a type of social media that anybody has on their phone? Instagram, perfect. Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, yeah. Anything else? LinkedIn, sure. Yeah. Okay, so we'll go ahead and stop there and we'll save those. So I'll go back to sharing my screen and now let's add those terms. Go back to sharing my screen. And so we're going to go ahead and add those terms right here in this box. So what I'm telling the database is, I don't care if the article refers to it as social media or if the article is only focused on Instagram. I want to make sure that I'm getting any one of those variants. Okay, so I'm going to say social media or. And so let's see, we'll say social media or Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or Snapchat or Tumblr or social networking or TikTok or YouTube. Okay, I'd love to see the hospital's Tumblr page, but we'll just go ahead and we'll click that anyway. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing for hospital. I'm going to say hospital or, and I'm going to say healthcare facility. And it's okay to go in and kind of, zhuzh these how you want them to be. So I'm going to say hospital or healthcare facility. And then I'm going to do the same for USA or United States. So now I've changed this. I've changed my search a little bit. I have said I am okay with this term or this term. Any combination of these terms, one from each box, is okay by me. It's a different way of talking to the database. You're using Boolean operators of or and to tell the database what it is that you want. You're saying social media or Facebook, but you're also saying social media or Facebook and the hospital or healthcare facility. So you're saying pick one from each box. Okay, so we'll go ahead and hit search. And this will increase our numbers because we're allowing for there to be flexible vocabulary. So, and you could be saying to yourself, Michelle, I don't want to read 2,300 articles. Okay, fine. So let's talk about different ways that we can refine our results. In addition to adding additional terms, we can go ahead and refine our results over here on the left-hand side. So for example, I want to make sure that my results are peer reviewed. So that's a requirement for my assignment. So I'm going to go ahead and say peer reviewed. Okay. So that's going to remove anything that's not peer reviewed. And so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change this to through the last 3 years. So I'm going to say over here in the publication date, I'm going to say 2020 to 2023. So it's going to remove anything that is older than 2020. Now I'm also going to, I am limited in that I can only fluently read English. So I'm going to go ahead and select English as well. Okay, so now we put in all of the terms that we think that we need. We've used all of the filters that we think that we need. And so now I can go ahead and look at these results and see, are they about what I want them to be about? Okay, so we can go ahead and check all of these and see what they are. And, oh, is this about what I want it to be about? Now, don't worry too much about there being 1,058, okay? We could add more terms to bring that number down, but I'm not going to worry about it too much right now because you'll notice over here on the right-hand side, everything is sorted by relevance, okay? Which means that the ones that are the most relevant are going to be at the top and the ones that are the least relevant are going to be at the bottom. So that means I may never get down past number 100 or 200. So I'm not going to worry too much about this number being too large. You only have to worry if that number is exorbitantly large, like 1 million, or if it's 1. If it's either of those two things, you're either being too narrow or too broad. And then you need to go in and tweak your terms a little bit. Okay. Okay. So now we have, kind of a list of things that I like. Here's the largest neurological social media group and its impact on communication and research. Well, that looks good to me. So I'll go ahead and click on it. And a couple of things to note when you click on the title. Okay, now you'll notice I didn't click on the attachments from the list. I went ahead and clicked on the article itself, and here's why. I want to have access to this tools over on the right-hand side, which will allow me to save this article, email this article to myself, export it if I wanted to use a citation manager. I can cite it. I can do all of these things over here. And I can go ahead and look at the subject terms that are listed here, as well as the abstract. So the abstract is going to be that summary that's going to tell you what the article is all about. So by doing this, I'm allowing to see, kind of a little synopsis of the article so I can decide whether this article is actually for me or not. Okay. So I decide I like this article, easy peasy. The PDF is embedded over here on the left-hand side. We get excited, easy peasy, wonderful, wonderful. Okay. Now keep in mind when you use this citation generator, like this one over here on the right-hand side, when I click cite and the citation generator comes up right here, okay, you may notice sometimes these are not entirely accurate. Like 50% of the time. Okay, so just keep in mind, it's not usually the actual information that's inaccurate, it's usually the formatting, right? So it's usually a capitalization or a punctuation problem. So keep in mind, if you want to use a citation generator, and that's not a problem, you can use them. Just make sure they're correct before you turn it in on an assignment, okay? Okay, so we have the article, everything's wonderful, wonderful. So now let's talk about what to do when things aren't quite as easy as the PDF being embedded, okay? So I'm going to go back one to our list. And I'm going to select one that does not have the PDF right there in the results list. So I'll go ahead and click this one instead. And here I'm going to ask you guys a question. You can all see that the PDF is missing. I'm going to ask you guys a quick question, okay? So if you were to come across, make believe, you were to come across this article, it was the perfect article, you're super excited about it. You get to this page right here, okay? You get to this page right here, and it's basically that you don't have the PDF. By a show of thumbs up, how many of you would just click away? I'm just curious. It's very tempting to do so, right? I mean, one might assume that this means that it is unavailable, right? Okay, so that's one thing to discuss, is that that's not necessarily what this means, okay? So when you don't see the PDF embedded, it means that this particular database, this one kind of store that you're shopping at, doesn't happen to have this article. But what it's not saying is whether or not the library has it or not, because we're only looking in one database right now. So if we were to switch databases, check a different database, we might be able to access that article in the full text. So we're going to go back and see how we can do that. Okay, so here we are back at this screen where we have our, where the PDF would be. And you can see this little black box over here that says get it at CSULB. And sometimes when we click on that box, it will search around and it will find it somewhere else in the library. Okay, so one thing that's nice about this is that it allows you to kind of browse through other databases without having to leave the one that you're in right now. So what this screen is telling me is, you can see where it says full text availability right here. And below that is a blue box. That is letting me know the number of places that this is available in full text. So if there's one blue box here, that means that it is available in one other place in the library. So when I click on that, it will send me to, here's the PDF right over here, and here is the article, okay? So as it turns out, we did have access to that article, right? And we don't want to click away when we don't see the PDF immediately. Instead, we're going to try the Get It guy, and we're going to ask them to see if we can find it somewhere else, okay? Because sometimes it's just like 2 clicks away. And sometimes those 2 clicks are worth the time, because, sometimes it takes even longer to find a different article that you like, right? So it may take even longer to find a different one that you like. All right, so we've talked about 2 ways that we can get to the full text. Let's talk about number 3, okay? So how many of you guys, I'm gonna stop sharing again. I know I'm annoying. How many of you guys have been in the position where you've been looking for an article online, you end up on a publisher's page, and they're asking you to purchase an article. Has that happened to anybody? Yes, it has. Totally, right? Does anybody care to share either in chat or on the mic? That's fine too. Does anybody care to share how much money they wanted from you for the article? Anybody remember? Like $20, $30, $40? I click away too fast. That's a great instinct. That is a great instinct to click away because here's the deal. We are never going to pay them money. It was a subscription, right? Sometimes it's $100. They're saying, oh, just pay for the whole, the whole year or whatever, and then we'll give you this one article. Okay, here's the deal. $40. $40 is super common. I generally see somewhere between $30 and $70 for one article. Okay. And I'm going to say something right now. Very controversial. Any amount of money is too much money. Okay. Life is expensive. School is expensive. You should not have to purchase your own research. Okay. So y'all are going to make me a pinky promise right now. Okay. So you're going to do that by typing promise in the chat. And that is that you will never, ever, 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 ever pay for an article. Okay. Never, ever, ever, ever pay for an article. All right. Let me do that for you. Let the library provide that for you. Okay. You're already paying for the library through your tuition, right? So in a way, you're already paying for these articles. Okay. So there are a couple of ways that we can purchase things for you. Okay. So first of all, when you have the PDF, that's great. We've already purchased it. When you use the Get It Guide and you find it in a different database, that's great. We've already purchased it. So then let's talk about the two other ways, okay? So I'm going to go back to sharing my screen so we can talk about the two other ways to get articles for free, and we're not going to pay for them. Okay, so hold on just one second. Go back to sharing my screen. Okay, so number one is Google Scholar. Excuse me. So Google Scholar is awesome in that it can check not only out in the free world, but it can also check our library. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab this title from this article right here. And I'm going to go into Google Scholar and I'm going to paste it there. Now I'm going to do something very specific. I'm going to put quotation marks around that article's title. So I'm telling Google Scholar, look specifically for these words in this order. I'm turning it into a big long string. It's not going to search for the words individually. Okay, so we're going to do a search. Here is the article, easy peasy. And what do you know? Here's the Get It Guide and the HTML for that article. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on it. Right, it's that same screen we were at before, right? But this time I accessed it through Google Scholar. So if you are ever looking for an article and you're not having a lot of success in, some of the traditional databases, or you're having success there and you want to expand your search even more, try Google Scholar, but do it in a very methodical way. Okay, because what you want to do is you want to make sure that you are using Google Scholar linked to the library. Because what's going to happen then is instead of sending you to a publisher's page where they're asking you to pay for it, it'll send you to the free copy provided to you by the library. Okay, and so the steps to do it is this. When you're in Google Scholar, you're going to click on Menu, which is the hamburger menu, the 3 lines. Then you're going to go to Settings, which is the wheel cog. And then you're going to go to Library Links. And now you'll see mine right now. I already have it set up to go to Long Beach. Okay, you can add up to 5 libraries as long as you have permissions there, as long as you have a library card, right? So for us, you do. And then you can add up to 5 libraries. Now, as long as you don't clear your cookies, that will remain every time you search. You don't have to set this up every time. And then when you go into Google Scholar and you just do like a straight up search, healthcare marketing. Oh, I didn't type that right. Healthcare marketing strategy, sure. You'll notice each one of these on the right-hand side, these are linked to the library. Okay, you can see right there, it says get it at CSULB right below it. Okay, so you can use those. Instead of clicking on the ones in the main, right, in the main list right here, click on the ones over in the right side column. That will provide you with a free copy from the library. Okay, If it doesn't have a right-hand sided copy, like this one right here, well, this is a book, so it's not going to link you to the book. And I don't see another one that has that. But if for some reason it looks like this one that's the book and it doesn't have anything in the right-hand column, that just means that our library doesn't own a copy. And so again, that doesn't mean that you can't get it. It just means you have to ask for it. Okay. So if we go into our list again, let me see if I wish I could find one that we don't have. That would be the most helpful thing, to find one that we don't have. Let's see. Do a little click. Let me see. Use of social media in healthcare. Let me see. Click on that one. Fingers crossed we don't have it. I don't usually say that. Fingers crossed we don't have it. Let's see. Dun dun dun. The suspense is killing me. Okay, perfect. Oh my gosh. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so you can see there is a digital copy from CSU. So whenever we don't have a copy of something, it will offer you the availability to request it. It'll be this little blue box down here where it says get a digital copy from CSU Plus. Delivery estimated right now is 24 hours by email. You would just click get it. A form pops up. You just click on like two things, and then basically your request goes to the library. We go and purchase that article specifically for you, and then we send you the PDF. So we spend, and I'm serious that it's like each individual article that is requested through this, our library purchases those at whatever it is, $20 a piece or whatever it is. So we go out and buy them for you. Okay, so you don't have to be making these purchases on your own. It's up to us to be making those purchases for you. Okay, so we have we have the PDF, we have the Get It Guide, we have Google Scholar, and now we have CSU Plus or Beach Reach. Either one of those, we will request a copy and we will send it to you. Okay. So there's no reason for you to ever purchase anything from a publisher because we're already doing that for you. Okay. And besides, you promised me. So we're going to keep our promises. Okay. So we've covered the 4 different ways you can access full text. We've covered Boolean operators. We've covered searching in databases. How are we doing out there? Are we having any questions? Is there anything that you'd like to ask as far as working on this kind of research?
Come on, y'all. I usually have more to say. And this class doesn't have an excuse of being asleep. I hope.
I don't know, man. I'm tired. You know, like it's dark out. All right, no questions. Okay, so that must mean that y'all are ready to do your own searching then, yeah? Okay, because here's what's going to happen. I'm going to give y'all an assignment, and you will be put into breakout rooms, and you will be basically replicating this search on your own. Okay, so you'll work in groups. You'll each be assigned a practice research question. Okay, you'll use that question. You'll go into a database and you'll need to find an article that is related to that question. You're basically going to be working through the same scenario that I just demonstrated for you, but you'll be doing it in groups in breakout rooms. Okay, all right, so let me grab my my assignment for y'all, and let's go ahead and take a look at it. Okay, and share screen. Okay, so this is the assignment. It is an escape room because I like fun things. So the escape room will walk you through how to get started at first. The first couple of slides are instructional, right? We have the escape room. Then you're going to be either linking to it from the library tools, which will look like this, okay? Or you'll be going through the homepage like I demonstrated for you. Either way is fine because both times you're going to end up here at the Healthcare Administration Research Guide. When you get to the Healthcare Administration Research Guide, then you'll see this list that we worked off of. You can select one of them, and you're going to apply everything you learned to one of these slides. Okay, here's the example. You can refer to this at any time. And if you're in room 1, your slide would look like this. You're going to create a group name. You're going to select a database and type it here. So I could put academic search complete. I could put CINAHL. I could put whatever I want there. You're going to look at your research topic. So for example, this one is about how do therapy dogs impact a child's mental health during their stay in the hospital. So you would think about that topic and you would identify what you think the key terms are. And then you would search for those in the database that you select. When you find an article that you like, you go ahead and you can use the citation generator. It's fine if it's a little bit inaccurate, that's fine. And you can paste that here. Once you're done with all of those steps, there is a jigsaw puzzle to do. That's the ending fun thing. Volume on if you like clicky noises. And then you'll have the exit ticket, which will tell you like what was the jigsaw puzzle like and what was one thing that you learned today. Okay. Each room needs to fill out one slide as a group. Okay. There's not one per person. It's one slide as a group. Room 1 will fill out the slide for room 1, room 2 for room 2, etc., etc., etc. Okay. Does everybody understand the assignment? Are there any questions about the assignment? Okay. We're feeling okay? All right, so I just dropped the link to the slide deck in the chat, so make sure you can access that before you go ahead and be put in breakout rooms. We're going to randomly generate 5 breakout rooms for everyone to work with, okay? Does that sound good? Yes? No questions? No questions. Okay, we're feeling good. All right, thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. Okay, so I will go ahead and generate 5 breakout rooms for y'all randomly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, once you are done and you have done the exit ticket, that means that you can leave the breakout room. You can come back to the main room. That is escaping. That is the escape room. It means you get to go back to the lobby and you get to say, we did it. Okay. All right. Okay, so here we go. Here comes the breakout rooms. Link is in the chat. Megan, were you able to find the room? Okay. All right, I think that should be everybody back, right?
Looks like it. Let's see.
Oh no,
Well,
seven
no, I think
more
there's
seconds.
a group missing.
Yeah, no, there's
Yeah.
only 25. 7 more seconds. Okay, here we go. Okay. Welcome back, everyone. Fantastic job on the escape room. Everybody escaped so quickly. We're also very proud. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we're going to go look over that slide deck that you all just created. And we can see, you know, what some people found interesting. We can see what articles people found and, you know, one thing that everybody learned. Okay. So I'll go ahead and go back to sharing my screen. Here we are one last time. Okay, it's loading. So here is our example that we started with. And so let's start with room 1. Room 1 are the pet lovers. And they were looking at therapy dogs and how it impacts a child's mental health. They found an article that was related. Oh, look at all those glorious search terms. They were able to complete the puzzle. And one thing they learned was how accessible and resourceful the university library is. Oh my gosh, you guys, that's so nice. As well as how one search simplifies finding an article. Beautiful, beautiful. Well done, pet lovers. Applause, applause. Okay, so next we have room 2, which was creatively named room 2. Okay, so they were looking at the impact of exercise on middle-aged women. We're looking in CINAHL. They found an article that was related and they were able to finish the puzzle, it looks like. So congratulations, room 2, room 2. Well done, well done. Moving on to room C, they were looking at chocolate milk and its impact on exercise recovery. They called themselves chocolate milk, of course. They were looking in academic search complete. They found a great article regarding exercise and chocolate milk. They were able to complete the puzzle. And one thing they learned about was the different databases and how to access them. A very good way to go, room 3. All right, moving on, we have room 4. Room 4 was school has us sleep deprived. Oh no, you guys, that's very sad. And of course, it's also funny because they were talking about how sleep quality impacts the academic achievements of high school students. They were looking in actually Science Direct. They were finding articles, let's see, that looks like it's really appropriate, and it's about sleep quality and academic performance. And one thing that they learned about today was how to search databases and to link libraries through Google Scholar search engine. Amazing, amazing, applause, applause. Okay, and now last but not least, we have group 5, which is the Fantastic Five. They were looking at telehealth and nursing shortages. They used Academic Search Complete. They were able to find an article that they liked that looks like it's super relevant. One thing that they learned today was how to use Google Scholar and how to attach certain libraries to it. Everybody liked Google Scholar today. I love this. Applause, applause for room 5. Okay, very good. Okay, so a few things to keep in mind before you run away today, okay? So keep in mind that when you're using any of the citation generators, okay, so I'm actually gonna share my screen one last time. I'm sorry, I kind of thought I was done, and then I'm just gonna do one, I swear it's short, I promise. Okay, one more thing. I'm just gonna share this screen instead. Okay, so when you are looking at an article, right, and you wanna cite it, and you're seeing, hold on, here we go. You can do it. You can load. I know you can. When you're looking at one of these things and you're clicking the cite button, make sure that these are correct before you go and use them in one of your assignments. In order to make sure it's correct, you can always go to this APA link right here. You'll see this right here. One of my favorite things is this Northwest Missouri guide. Okay, it gives beautiful color-coded examples of what APA is supposed to look like. So if you ever have a question, is my APA correct? Go ahead and check here and see if it's looking correctly for you. Okay, so that's just my spiel. I want to make sure that you guys are citing correctly. If you have any questions and you are curious to, look for something, you may notice down at the bottom of a page like this where it says Ask a Librarian. That is a 24/7 chat widget. It is not a chat bot. I just want to be clear. There is a live human at the other end of that. It's a human being, right? You're chatting with a human, and it will be a librarian. If it's not one of our librarians, it's a librarian from a different university. We all share this kind of co-op chat. So should you be looking for something 3 o'clock in the morning, it won't be a CSU, it will be a librarian, but there will be a live human on the other end of that question trying to help you with what you need, okay? Okay, so do we have any last minute questions regarding the library for me? Anything at all?
Think I have a question.
Yes, go for it.
The library has different floors, and I kind of just go to like a certain floor all the time, but I was like interested in the other floors, and I think one of the floors that's like graduates, and I'm just like, I don't know, I was just curious about like the different floors of the library.
Oh, sure. Okay, so there is a grad studies floor. It's the second floor, but it's actually just where the grad offices are. That doesn't necessarily mean you can't go study there. You can go in there. It's open to everyone. It's just where all other grad offices are, and sometimes they'll have grad events in there. It is a collaborative space, so you can go and you can, speak in regular volume on that floor. Okay, so let's start at the lower level. The lower level is the same. That's where the innovation space is. It's also a collaborative floor. So there's no volume restrictions on the lower level. I actually really like that because it's got some of those windows that are kind of, along the edge, and it kind of has this like atrium feel down there. So that's the lower level. First floor is going to be the where the print lab is and where the coffee shop is and where the librarians are, where the reference desk is. So that's the first floor. Again, that's a collaborative space. There's no restriction on volume. We talked about the second floor. That's the grad studies floor. Before you get into the grad area, there's also kind of closer to the front door, there is the children's section. The children's section is for our like soon to be teachers, but it also means that there is an entire children's and young adult collection there. So like for me, I really like to read YA. So I'll go there and check out some fun books for myself there. But it's also a family-friendly study space. So if any of you are parents or have younger siblings that you need to take with you to campus one day, it is a family-friendly area. You can feel free to bring children into that area, okay? And there's fun. There's a whole bunch of like puzzles and kids' computers and everything like that. So that's the second floor. Third floor, we have our special collections and we have our university archives. That's kind of above where the children's section is. The rest is just stacks in a reading room. Again, no volume control over that room. You can use regular speaking voice. It tends to be kind of like, I would say, a medium to chill floor. Not a lot, of crazy people happening or anything. It's just kind of a hangout zone. Now, the fourth floor is the one that I do want to bring up because that is our silent floor. So what that means is that it's very, very, very quiet on that floor, and they do not allow for talking or using your cell phone like on that floor. If you want to use your phone, that's not the place for it. They are kind of serious about it. If we've actually had complaints downstairs of people saying, well, they're using their highlighters too loud, like it was like a squeaky highlighter or something. I don't know, but they're very serious about it. But if you need quiet, then the fourth floor is going to be the floor for you because that's the silent floor. Fifth floor is kind of like, I don't want to say it's like the party floor, but it is definitely it's the biggest reading room. So it also attracts the most people. It has nice views and there's a couple of different places, like small group study areas and stuff like that. We don't have any reservable student study rooms in the library. They don't have any of those. I think there might be a couple in the Student Success Center, I'm not sure, but we currently don't have anything that's available to reserve. Everything is first come, first serve. So does that give you a good idea of like all the floors? Does that give you a good idea?
Yeah, it does, because I was always just like intimidated to kind of just like walk around the library because, I don't know, I just feel like when somebody's walking around, because I know I look at people when they're walking around like, what are they doing? It's a library. Like, I don't know.
Me too.
So
No.
yeah.
The only no. Well, first of all, I mean, of course, like you're walking around, you feel like you're interrupting, but every floor is collaborative except for the fourth floor. So
Okay.
you don't have to feel like you're interrupting anybody on any of the floors, really, right? And I mean, you're a
Okay.
student. This is your space, so you should be able to walk in there and do whatever you want. I mean,
Thank you.
within reason, of course, within reason. Okay, great
Thank you.
question, though. I love that. Of course. Does anybody else have any other questions about the library, about searching, about anything? Okay, well, then I just have one question for y'all. Okay, then we're going to let you go early. Look at this, early. We love early. Okay, and that is, can you give me a thumbs up or some sort of sign to let me know if you are feeling more comfortable with library resources, more comfortable and confident with library resources? Are we feeling pretty good? Yes. Oh, confetti emojis, heart emojis, thumb emojis. I love it. Fabulous. Okay, wonderful. Again, so my email is michelle.demars@csulb.edu. Vanessa actually very nicely put it in the chat for me. So if you need me, you can feel free to email me anytime, okay? We can make an appointment. We can do it over email. I'll make you a video, what have you. Anytime you need help, you just let me know. I care about you and your success, and I want to make sure that you're successful. So if you need me, you just reach out and you ask, okay? Okay. All right, y'all. Well, take care of Linda. She's a gem. We love her.
All right. Thank you so much, Michelle, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye, guys.
Bye, Professor.
Okay. All right, guys. Any of y'all that have any questions or anything I can answer? Are you ready to go? Because if y'all don't have anything, then I'm going to let y'all go early. Nothing? Okay. All right. Well, I hope y'all have a great week, and I will see y'all on Tuesday of next week.
Thank you, Professor. Have a good night.
You too.
Hi, Professor.
Hi, Tien. What can I do for you?
Oh, Just have a question for your HCA 457 class.
Uh-huh.
About the group, like, is it gonna be assigned?
Yes, and I've had so much in and out in that class because of this class hasn't had the in and out. It never does. But the 457 students get in there, and then they change their mind and get out, and they just disappear. And so I think I'm going to be assigning it this week. I need to look and see when the final day to drop ad is, and I'll be assigning it because I hate to have to change groups around, after I sign them. So yes, it will be coming up here very shortly.
All right, thank you. Yeah, because I see the group introduction due today. So
Yeah,
great.
and that's just for once I put you on groups, I'll send those out to y'all, so you'll have information on your group.
All right, thank you. Also, like I have heard I think from the club and then the organization you mentioned.
Oh, did I CC'd them with you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll send a message out to them again and tell them to contact you. I know we've got a meeting coming up. Let me see when it is, because everybody's welcome, and it's by Zoom. Let me see what the date is. Hang on one second. I should have it in my calendar. Let's see. I think it's. Yeah, I thought it was where is it? It's on Friday nights, and I thought it was the third Friday. Maybe I don't have it in my calendar yet. I think it's I'm guessing the 22nd, but I'll let you know for sure. I'll find out. And then I'll be sure you get a copy of the Zoom link. And then, because the first meeting will be a general meeting, and they'll tell you about the organization. How long have you been at Cal State? How long have you been in HCA?
My third semester here.
Okay, then if you've had your third semester as HCA or your third semester at Cal State?
So third semester in Cal State Long Beach. I'm a transfer student.
Okay. So if you've been in HCA at least 2 semesters, then you're eligible for UPD, which is the honor one, as long as you have a 3.25 overall average. Yeah. Well, your average in the HCA classes.
I do.
Okay, super. We're going to get you enrolled then. Okay, so let me send another message. I sent Anya another message too that she didn't respond to, which is real unusual. So let me see if I can chase her down. I'll text her and see if I can get y'all hooked up. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor.
Okay, I'm looking forward to having you in the club. All right.
Also, I think I am in that Discord, the UPD thing.
You think you're what?
I'm in that Discord. I think so.
Okay. So, all right. So we'll be sure we'll figure it out. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Professor.
Okay.
All right.
Anything else?
I think that should be it for today.
Okay. All right. You have a good evening.
Thank you, you too. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.